Welcome back to the Urban Schoolhouse where
School
school is
is
cool.
cool.
It's me, Ebony Weisinger,
And Chelsea Weisinger.
and we are here on episode 3 to talk about school community. So,
Yeah.
in our back to school series on the Urban Schoolhouse today, we're looking at a community perspective and why that's important. Um, I've been working in the schools for quite a long time, and it's been so many beautiful things that I have experienced in terms of community, in terms of community giveaways, community support for our schools,
Events.
events for our school children. And so it's so important that we involve communities when we're talking about raising school age children. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, and it also goes into our last episode, talking about back to school readiness. And we
In
mentioned a
routines.
lot in routines. We mentioned a lot about how it usually does take a village, and don't discount school as part of being your village.
So this whole topic became an issue because Chelsea, for those of you who don't know, is my daughter. And we talk about urban schoolhouse matters every day. As she is a social worker and I am a school counselor. Um, and one day she told me about, was it a TikTok?
Yeah, it was a TikTok, and it became a really big conversation because a lot of parents would post videos on TikTok expressing how they were upset when they got their kids back to school supplies list, and it would say like 5 boxes of Kleenex. And they would say, well, why do I have to buy five? Like, I'm just buying materials for my kids, and that's it. And the teachers should go out and buy it if they wanted X, Y, and Z. So that was the conversation. And some teachers did respond back to it. Um,
Like, what were they saying?
they were saying like, I don't think you realize how low teachers get paid. Number one,
Yeah.
and then number two, if you got 30 kids in a classroom, they all bring in 5 boxes of tissue. Now you got 150 boxes of tissue, especially working with like younger kids who lick everything, they touch everything, they get sick quite often. Honestly, they're probably gonna use all of it. And then if one kid, takes 10 tissues because they don't know how to only take one or two, yeah,
Was this
you
like
need
one
it.
mom talking
No,
or?
this is like multiple parents. I think like one mom in a video I saw literally called teachers lazy for not going to a school supplies drive themselves and getting supplies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how our listeners land on that debate, but I think that the school supply, anyway, so for me, I'm looking at it like there are so many things that we have to share at school. I don't understand why parents would even make it their issue to even bring this up when their kids benefit from that sharing all the
Yeah, I don't think
time.
they realize how much they benefit from that.
Yeah, I mean, like kids don't have a pencil. So then you have another child who's willing to say, here, you can use my
Or the
pencil.
teachers just
Or the
stocked
teacher,
up
right.
because of,
Or
what you've
maybe the
done.
teacher has depleted their
Cause,
pencils for the
Cause
year.
kids lose stuff.
Kids lose stuff, they take stuff, they break stuff. And I just think that it's a silly thing to say, well, you only had one box of tissue and your box of tissue is out and your nose is running. It's also very germy, because kids are gonna wipe their nose with
On
anything. They
something.
gonna wipe it on their hands and then they gonna touch your child.
Yeah, and
And
then
your
now you're
child have tissues.
right. And now your kid's sick. Now
But at
your
least they
kid's
got tissues.
yeah.
They gonna need them. And then
Or
like when
parents that label all of their supplies like Like, imagine if you bought me a pack of pencils and you put my name on all those pencils, and so then they're like, they can't share these. These are only for my kid. That's also what parents are doing.
Yeah. I think it's, I don't want to say it's wrong, but I just think it's a waste of time.
A lunchbox, yeah, but like pencils,
School supplies and wipes. We're talking about Clorox wipes, right? We're talking about tissues,
like
communal
let the
things.
kids have some pencils,
Let
and
them
they're
have
not
them.
expensive. Go to Walmart. Sorry, because I saw another. I don't know if it was a teacher or it was another parent that literally showed their receipt from Walmart from getting the entire supplies list, and it was like maybe $50 if that.
I
Because
still don't.
Walmart has what 99-cent folders.
I don't think it's the teacher's responsibility.
No, they do it all. They
I
deal with your
think it's the
kid eight
school's
hours a day,
responsibility more so than a teacher's responsibility.
and that depends on if the district got money.
Well, that would depend on if the teacher has money too.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be more so a district responsibility than a teacher responsibility.
Yeah, that's another thing. I feel like, I mean, I'm not a teacher, but I feel like teachers take so much heat for stuff that they literally don't have control over.
Like what?
Like what you just said. Like if they had more money, I'm sure teachers would love to be able, or if they got like a stipend to go out and buy supplies or to go,
Yeah, they would need a stipend because I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna go ahead and take one for the teachers and say that I don't feel like I should have to spend any of my money on my students.
Mic drop.
Period. I come here to earn a living so I can spend my money on my child.
Mm.
So, and I'm sure that nobody, like, okay, if a teacher has a child, that teacher still has to provide for their children too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not fair to make it a teacher's problem. And I will say that teachers don't get paid much, but even if teachers got paid more, I still don't find it to be their responsibility.
I agree.
That's my opinion.
I agree.
And if a parent thinks that it's a teacher's job to render school supplies, I mean, I disagree with that. I believe that it could be the school's job.
And I think that goes into parental involvement. Like, because if you go to like open houses or they meet the teacher or whatever they call it, I'm pretty sure the teacher will explain or be like, hey, I need this, or I would love if you guys donated this, whatever.
I guess you would have to be in a place where you're
But that's
comfortable.
if you go to open house.
Yeah. Those of us that go to open house. But you would have to be in a position where you have the wherewithal to donate.
Yeah.
And, the mental capacity to understand the
But even if you can't do it, what's the point of getting on the internet and calling teachers lazy when teachers are anything but lazy?
But that goes along with that parental bullying.
Yeah.
Because sometimes parents bully teachers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to say that you're lazy because you haven't spent your own personal cash on classroom school supplies.
When they probably did, to be honest with you.
They always do.
They probably already did.
They always do. It's something in that
they spend their own money to decorate their classroom.
They do. And then sometimes you get money or stipends from the district, but it's still not enough for, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like on the fence. Like, how could a parent not be for providing things like tissues and hand
like
wipes?
This person is dealing with your child for 8 hours a day. This person's dealing with multiple kids.
But the germs
all day long, and these people are making sure that your kids are okay, that they're
the communicable diseases.
I'm talking about something. You're talking about some germs. I mean, yeah, like we did go through an entire pandemic.
Yeah.
And kids were nasty before that.
Yeah.
So it's like
real nasty.
Like that part too.
The younger they are, the more they need the Clorox wipes. Trust me.
And they just be sneezing. Yeah. Right in your face. This happened to me.
Mm-hmm. Or they sneeze right into their hands.
Yeah, and they touch stuff.
What we want to really teach our kids is to sneeze into their elbow.
especially like in my experiences, working in like special education classroom settings. Oh yeah, they put their mouths on everything.
Oh yeah, they do, including that water fountain.
Oh yeah, ew, no.
So seriously, like school is a community. And I know in Detroit, Mike Morris, he gives away those backpacks, right? And to all the Detroit public school
Yeah, a
kids.
lot of churches do, a lot of
Yeah.
centers do.
I know in Rosedale Park, the community, they provide coats and uniforms.
Hmm.
You hear about back to school fairs
Yeah,
all over the place. Like, honestly, everyone stands in need at some point in school.
yeah.
Like, we have sanitary napkins for girls in the office, and we will just give them away. I just think that people should broaden the scope and think about the big picture in a more
And
holistic
that this
way.
benefits your kid
Yeah, because if
too.
my kid is sick and has snot on their hands because they don't have any tissue, and then they touch your kid, and now your kid has germs,
And then your kid goes home.
and then they touch you.
Now you sick. Then you still gotta go to work,
And
and
now
then
you
now
gotta
you,
call off work,
yeah.
and you ain't gonna make that money.
Hmm.
And then this all boils down to you should have just bought that box of tissue.
Hello. But you want to sit on TikTok, and then going back to the TikTok, because parents really be going in on teachers. I saw this other lady. She went to open house and meet the teacher, or whatever. She went on TikTok crying because the teacher's classroom wasn't decorated enough for her liking. And she said, I quote, she didn't have a fun rug for my son.
Well, that's where volunteerism comes in because you can go
And
to
that's
the
where
school
you
and
could have,
volunteer
and she could have bought the teacher a rug, and
and
she wanted a
donate.
rug.
Buzzword for parents: donate, volunteer. There is a process in the office. You need to go and ask, how do I become a volunteer? And that way you can go to field trips and accompany the teacher, and you can get a real view of what it's like to have over 20 kids in one space and have to really monitor them and take care of them because a lot of parents don't have that experience.
Kids with different needs,
Right, at all skill levels. Some
skill
can talk,
levels.
some are nonverbal, some are
Mm-hmm.
aggressive, some are,
Mm-hmm.
sad. It's just bullying a teacher without knowing what teachers have to endure is,
It's
ugh.
actually asinine. I'm
Ooh,
sorry.
asinine.
It's actually asinine. I'm sorry. Like teachers,
I'm just gonna leave it
teachers
at
are the
that.
backbone.
Teachers are the backbone. I believe that people have a distrust of teachers.
They do. I think so too.
But it's like,
But if it's that bad, if it's that deep, then become certified and homeschool your kids. But you're not going to.
I look at it kind of like this. You know how we trust the food at the grocery store?
We don't know where it came
We
from.
don't know where it came from. We don't know how it was handled. We don't know how it was packaged, but yet we eat it.
Mm.
And all I'm trying to say is, in terms of teachers, sometimes you just got to eat it. Every teacher is different. Okay. Every teacher is going to come with their own set of trauma,
Mm-hmm.
drama, and karma.
Experiences.
Yeah, experiences. But I just think that we are, as parents, teach our kids that teachers are individuals too,
Mm.
and that everyone has a different level of, discernment or different style of teaching or different ways in which they handle things, and draw upon respect for those differences instead of trying to yell at teachers for not having what you think they should have a conversation,
Yeah.
and say,
They're
I
adults.
really expected it to be so bright in here. Would you be open to us perhaps donating a rug for your classroom to brighten things up? I'm sure most teachers would love that kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I just really expect also parents to be patient because sometimes, and I know when I worked in the inner city, we would get stipends, but we wouldn't get them right away.
Mm.
So the first day of school, we might not have everything we wanted to completely decorate the room. You know,
Also, teachers, I mean, they're adults, they're professionals, and I'm sure they would love to have that communication with parents. Like I said, there's opportunities to get to know your kid's teacher, open house, email, whatever you want to call it,
meeting.
like
You could schedule a meeting.
meeting,
Just schedule a meeting.
literally.
It's
There's so
important for
many
your children's
opportunities.
teachers to know exactly who you are and for
Mm-hmm.
you to know exactly who they are,
Yeah.
because absent of that, then you might feel distrusting
Yeah.
because we fear what we don't know.
Yeah. Another teacher, a teacher, like responding to the video about the rug, and she also said some teachers don't are able to get into their classroom, and some of them don't have time to decorate until like the last minute, because if you're working in a school, if you're employed by the district, then you have to go to what's called professional development or PD. So it's basically, it could be all day long, like 8 to 3, an all day meeting, and then you go home and you're obligated to be there. And some teachers don't have time to decorate their classrooms because they have these meetings. If they and they might not have the time before open house or meet the teacher to have everything done. Like, I just started my social worker job in like late January of 2025, and my classroom didn't like fully come, or my office didn't fully come together until maybe like March or April. And it also takes time to kind of get in that flow and like and realize what your students need too.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, thank you for your opinion on that. I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly. So, that kind of pushes us into our next topic to explore. I know that on our Instagram, a lot of our followers were talking about school lunch
Yeah.
and things of that nature. So, how does that tie into what we're talking about now?
So a lot of the comments that we got were more so about, so as we know, during the Obama administration, um, usually the first ladies have some sort of
Initiative.
initiative that they want to achieve. And for former First Lady Michelle Obama, her thing was making school lunches healthier.
Yeah.
And that goes to what we were talking about in our last episode, that a school lunch, that might be the only meal that child has that day.
Mm-hmm.
And so for it to be unhealthy and they keep eating that every single day, what is that going to do? Again, especially for our inner city students.
Right.
They're just getting poor nutrition. And again, you cannot learn with poor nutrition. But a lot of people were mad at her. I mean, they're mad at her, I think, for other reasons.
I think so too.
To like just the fact that, she's a black woman.
But I think a lot of the efforts that she had actually were accomplished because they stopped selling like pops in schools, and they started like because I know there was a conversation in my school at the time that President Obama was in office that we had to buy whole wheat products instead of regular products. And if we wanted to sell things to the kids like at the school store, that it would have to be like Sun Chips and whole grain products. And then we were selling things in terms of like drinks, water, and Powerade and things.
Yeah, I don't think my high school had pop.
Yeah, they stopped putting pops in vending machines because of that. So
did we have vending machines? I don't even remember. But
we had vending machines in high school, but they had pop in them.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
And candy.
That's not good, especially for little kids that are like, they just shouldn't really have access to that at school. People were, I think really the anger came from the underlying fact that, okay, why is this a black woman making decisions that will impact the whole country? I think that's why people were really mad, to be honest.
I mean, but why be mad at it?
Because I think just in American culture, period, overeating is normalized. Period.
Right. And people like to give their kids things to soothe them.
Junk food.
Food.
it's normalized. Like even if you go to a McDonald's, like in Europe, it's not the same as the McDonald's here.
So this is a community issue that people were actually trying to be against, but
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it was favorable for the students in every way. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that the schools were impacted by that. I believe
Yeah.
they were. I believe that there had been different ingredients for the things that the schools buy for the lunches
Mm-hmm.
and distribute to the students, so that they were getting more grain, more whole grain.
Yeah, kind of like going back to when I was saying in elementary school, I had that like my plate thing, and then making sure that each kid tries to get that
And
at
then
least
going
once a
back to what
day.
I said, like those morning visits to these gas stations, kids are bringing in the hot Takis, the hot Cheetos, the hot Fritos, and that's the morning breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say about that.
That's breakfast.
That is breakfast of champions.
Scrumdiddly yummy yum.
So I think that a community approach would be so much better, especially if, we were allowed to give students an environment where they couldn't bring that stuff. I mean, I would be okay with it. I actually have an issue with parents bringing in fast food off the streets
Mm.
because that happens every day in America where there's a mom, a dad, or a grandma bringing McDonald's to the lunch room. How does your school handle that?
Honestly, I don't think that I've seen that happen. When I was in high school, yeah, I don't think you could leave for lunch. I think
These
they
kids
used to
stand for
allow that.
DoorDash now.
They used to allow but I think they stopped allowing it because of like on the rise of like school shootings
I
though.
think it goes back to us having a routine, a
Mhm.
food routine where a student is packing their lunch or making sure that they have a lunch. Because I know a lot of parents might bring fast food into the school building because they don't have a choice. They didn't pack a lunch, the kids don't have a lunch, they forgot the lunch, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And so now they have to send food. Um,
Yeah, I
but
remember when I was in my internship and I did like half, like kind of like the end of my internship, I was shadowing a school based
mhm.
social worker. And yeah, when I was checking into security, I had realized that they do allow the students to DoorDash.
Yeah, our students send DoorDash, and
Which
there
is,
was this.
it's like, where are you getting the money for
Their
that?
parents. It's their
But
parents.
it's like, that is so.
It's their parents. Like I had a girl at my school, at the middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Her grandmother brought her McDonald's every day for lunch, and they allowed it.
But then also, like, you're creating really bad eating habits.
Not only bad eating habits, but if I were the kid sitting next
The
the
school
kid,
lunch wasn't that bad. It couldn't be that bad.
I would have been jealous. Like I want McDonald's.
Yeah.
I just think it's bad because it's bad for the environment. None of the other kids can have this but your kid. Meanwhile, your kid is eating terribly in front of other kids that have to eat lunch food from the
I
lunchroom.
didn't think lunch, and again, the lunch is free. There's another thing, villainizing free lunch. I mean, kind of. Listen, schools are impacted by politics a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, and one thing that has kind of been under attack is kids being able to get free breakfast and free lunch. I think the free breakfast thing is still kind of new. Like when I was in school, I don't think my school offered free. I mean, maybe when I got to middle school, but not when I was in elementary school. I don't think so.
No, they offered a reduction of the price, but it wasn't for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't do breakfast there either. But my school has free lunch and free breakfast. And
But I feel like that's still a newer thing because I think we're realizing like kids might not be eating at home and they can't learn on an empty stomach.
right.
And so again, when a kid eats at school, like the only time that they eat that
That's how
day.
come it's so important that you bring your kids to school on time
Yeah.
so that they can actually take advantage of these programs, these community-based programs that make sure your kids have food, healthy food at that,
Mm-hmm.
every day, and so that they can actually buckle down in the seat and learn instead of deal with hunger pains and be, focused on that instead of learning.
I'm talking about teachers and community. I know a teacher who goes out of her way to literally put an apple and like crackers or whatever on each of her students' desks in the morning so they have something to eat.
Oh wow. She pays for that out of her pocket,
Yep.
obviously.
Yep.
So I just think the teachers, they get a bad rap and they need more appreciation and more pay. Quite honestly, that's the type of teacher that we love here at the Urban Schoolhouse.
Period.
In terms of
And free lunch, like, are you kidding me? They're kids. They should be able to get food for free.
yeah,
They're required to be there. And if we want schools to be as inclusive as possible, then that's part of it because every single student has a different economic situation that they have no control over because they're kids.
but they all are hungry.
Yeah. And they're growing too.
Yeah, and they all have to learn. So it's a good thing. The free lunch programs, are they in jeopardy right now with our current administration?
Yes.
How so?
People just don't. They're just like, that's not fair. Like, why is my money? Why is my tax dollars?
Oh, so they don't want to have free lunch programs anymore?
No. People don't want to have their taxes go towards that.
It's kind of like the same thing with the tissues. I don't need the food, so I don't want to pay for it.
Exactly. And then to one day, because life happens, and you never know what can happen to you. I see this saying on social media all the time. People are one missed paycheck, two missed paycheck away from being unhoused, one accident away from being disabled. You just never know what can happen to you. And these same programs that you're trying to cut could save you one day.
I was just thinking about that, like unemployment. We all contribute to it, whether we need it or not.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And somebody you know, somebody you
or
love,
Social Security.
somebody you love might depend on it, and you're trying to take it away.
I believe in certain economic situations, certain people don't care who they leave out of the picture.
No, they don't. I feel like that just goes into, I think, just American culture, period. But I think we're really pushing towards individualism, right?
Yeah.
Than community. And this whole episode is about community. And I think we're really pushing away from like, well, if I'm okay and I don't need it, then nobody should have it because why should they need it? Because I don't need it.
Right.
It's like,
but until you need it.
Until you need it. And then now you've stuck.
Right.
Because you want to get rid of it.
Right.
So
how does it go back to school though? Like, how is this like a back to school issue? Because I know this is like an all year long issue.
I think parents, in the most like respectful way possible, I think again you need to kind of humble yourselves. I think that goes into asking for help.
Yeah.
When you might need help. That's what schools are for. Schools are supposed to be schools, hospitals, churches, safe places.
But that's right.
Universal safe places.
So basically, as the school begins, you should find out what resources that your school offers.
Because they got them.
They do. They have coats, backpacks,
diapers, food.
Yeah. Clothing. Tutoring. Exactly.
They got them.
Also go into
transportation.
Transportation. That's a good one. And also, I hate to say this, but sometimes people experience homelessness. And if you are experiencing homelessness, there is help in the office. There is an act called the McKinney-Vento Act, and that helps if you are experiencing homelessness, because the way the world is set up these days, you never know what type of help you will need. But always go into the office and ask what resources. And then after you do that, ask how you can help, how you can be of assistance at the school. I think that's a piece that parents just don't think about a lot of times. They don't think about how they can help in those classrooms or on those field trips, or how they can help paint a wall or make the school a better place.
It's a cycle. You help, then that helps the administration. That helps the teacher. That helps your kid. If we all just work together,
Yeah.
it's a flow. You know what I mean?
So what do you think we would need to do to get more parental involvement early in the school year? As school members, like, should we reach out to them? I mean, like, how do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I came in the middle of the school year when I first started my job, but I still tried to email parents just to introduce myself, and honestly, I barely got any responses, to be honest with you. Barely got any responses, but
yeah,
I'm
no,
with
same
your child
teachers
all
would
day.
complain if they didn't know who you are, and they didn't know
The
how to
parents,
get in
yeah,
touch with you,
yeah,
and they didn't know
yeah,
what you did there.
yeah, yeah. That's why when as employees, when I kind of know what kind of parent I'm dealing with, I mean, do it anyway, but I have everything in writing.
Right.
So, cause yeah, it's like I try, but I'm not gonna try harder than you. Yes, I care about your kid,
but
but I'm
more
not
than
gonna.
you.
Because at the end of the day, I can work myself to the bone, and that kid's still going home to you, and I have no control over what you're doing,
right, or what you're not doing,
and what you're not doing.
Yeah.
Like over the summer, I have no clue what my students have been doing.
But some schools serve lunches, by the way, during the summer, and I know we did during COVID.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like the kids would come up to the school a couple times a week to get food.
That's great.
It's awesome, especially when they're already on the food from the school, and then all of a sudden it's COVID and they don't have it anymore. So, and then people were struggling through that financially as well. So,
oh yeah.
And then there's also so many food banks out here, like Gleaners, and just all these different places where you can get food, because it is a community thing. No, I mean, I don't understand how people can sit within their own situation
and think that it will never change.
And well, that too, but to just be okay with the fact that other people don't have anything.
Because they don't care as long as it's not them, right?
I guess so.
Until it is them.
But my food ain't gonna taste as good if I see you hungry next to me, you know? So I really don't understand that completely, but hey.
And I don't know.
We just here to talk about
your perspective, because you're a parent. So it's like, how do I want to word this? Like, you wouldn't want me to have all this food placed, my classmate next to me not eating anything. I feel like also as a parent, like, how can you sit and see other kids
right
that may not be as fortunate as your kids?
And then how do you teach your kid how to be compassionate,
empathy,
and have empathy, and to share? Because sharing is caring.
Because when kids grow up, I mean, kids live in a community already, but as you grow up, you're always in some sort of community.
Exactly. And you're always going to need to care about mankind.
Yes.
So isn't like that the first opportunity to teach your kid?
Yeah.
To be a part of a community?
And a lot of people don't do it. Because sitting there complaining about why you got to share a pencil. Because little Timmy might need a pencil. Little Timmy might be unhoused. Little Timmy might live in a hotel with his mother.
Yeah.
But by law, Timmy still got to go to school.
And most of the times we have those type of things in our schools. Let's talk about it. It's just those things that run out throughout the year because kids catch all kinds of colds, all kinds of illnesses.
They lose stuff, they break stuff, they misuse stuff.
Exactly.
What gets on my nerves?
They spill stuff.
Rookie mistake. I had a bin of Play-Doh in my office. Guess what? All the colors are mixed together.
Yes.
Half is dried up.
Yes.
It got stuck in the carpet.
That's right.
So I will not be using Play-Doh. I will not be.
They ate some of it.
Yeah, and did.
I promise.
And so I will not be utilizing Play-Doh anymore in this upcoming school year.
I've had Play-Doh before. My advice is to keep the Play-Doh behind your desk and administer.
But they already know I got it. So they come in like, where's the Play-Doh?
Exactly. But the thing about it is they don't get it unless they know the rules. And the rule is we don't mix our Play-Doh, and we make sure that it's in the container and the lid is all the way down, just like markers.
They push the marker so then they bleed on the paper.
It has to click. Yeah. If the marker doesn't click, it's gonna dry out. So that's how they lose a lot of their school supplies.
That's what kids be doing. And mind you, I bought that Play-Doh with my own money. So look what happened. So
exactly.
Parents,
I don't buy Play-Doh anymore.
I'm not buying it anymore.
I would say buy it if you like can monitor it.
Yeah, I need to monitor
You
it
definitely
better.
do because otherwise it'll be on
And
your floor.
you know, I need to do. I need to just give them one pack of Play-Doh. I like give them the whole bin.
No, you can't give them the
No,
whole bin.
nar,
You could at
nar.
least give them two colors, but not no more than that.
No.
And then you also have to say these colors cannot be mixed. This has to be just like it is when I gave it to you.
Yeah.
And you
So,
have to close it up. But if you give it to them, then you can close it up.
so parents, that's what the kids do to the stuff. Just
And
so you know.
we try our best to share with our kids. I have given my kids my food before, like
Yeah. I have
so.
snacks in my office as well.
Yeah, but I've given kids my food that's from my for my lunch
Oh, you
because
so kind.
I mean like, one thing I'm not gonna do is let a child go hungry. In my
No.
23 years as a school counselor, one thing I'm gonna do is give a child food if they say they're hungry.
Mhm.
I'll leave work and go get the food
Mhm.
because I just feel like that's the number one thing they need. If they don't have that, they don't have anything
Yeah.
at school. So I just think that, being hungry while you at school, that's a huge distraction.
Mhm.
And that's where I bring my heart. Like I always have something for them to eat.
Oh my god. I have this one story. The last story. This truly broke my heart this year. So we have like a early childhood classroom, kind of like a pre-K situation. This kid is like 3, and the mom had contacted the teacher. Teacher contacted me that because usually she brings like Pampers in the kid's backpack, and she was like, I literally have no more diapers. I can't afford to get any more. Like, sorry. And this kid, so he's nonverbal, but he kept pointing to like the snacks, and he can signal like eat and more in sign language. And so we gave him some animal crackers, and he tore it up like it was a steak from Ruth's Chris. Like, it's like you don't know the last time that kid ate. And he kept saying more, more, more. And I sat there with him in that classroom, and I kept giving him some crackers, and I gave him some juice. And he, like, you could tell that he was, like, you could tell he needed that.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that kind of stuff too. Like I had these girls, they were foster children. And so they were used to hoarding food. So
Mm.
I would see them like collecting like food after lunch from the tables
Wow.
to take home to
Wow.
their family. Like the oranges that weren't peeled and things like that got left, they would always take them home. And we let them.
Mm-hmm.
But how bad off does it have to be for a child to literally grocery shop in the lunchroom after lunch and make sure that they take it home? So that's how come
And this is what,
community is so important, guys.
and this
Like
is what,
honestly, this is heartbreaking things you see every day. So as school personnel and as people working inside of these schoolhouses, ladies and gentlemen, we're always giving of ourselves. We're always giving what we have to kids. And quite frankly, these teachers, some of these teachers in some schools have given their life for their children.
literally,
So,
with these shootings.
yeah.
Literally.
So, with that, I'm going to sign off and I'm going to say that concludes our topic today because honestly, community is so important and that's what school is all about.
And it's heavy, but it's real because I mean, like parents, and I always say it's very easy to say that you would do when you haven't actually been in that situation. And anybody who works in a school, like I worked in a school for like what 6 months, and I have witnessed so much that I probably would have never really knew what goes on in families' lives and children's lives. Like you get exposed to a lot. Um, and it's so important to have empathy for the people that are making the school run and that they're doing their best. I mean, um, but they're trying, and I think giving teachers and other professionals in education give us some grace.
Just like we give parents grace.
Okay.
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways, and it takes all of us to make a school run and to make sure every kid has what they need.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that is it for part 3 of our 4-part back to school series. We will see y'all next Sunday. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and at TikTok at Urban Schoolhouse Podcast
For resources,
for resources and just up to date. We try to be interactive with our audience and get
finding out what you want to
yeah
hear.
different topics, things of that nature. So
Yeah.
let's
So
just
if
stay
you
up to
have an
date.
idea, go ahead and let us know.
Let us know in the chat. Anyway,
Or you can send us a message.
yeah. So that is it. So we will see y'all next time on Urban Schoolhouse Podcast, where
Where school is cool.